think that you needed others' opinions.
Hey y'all, it's me, Candace. This is my podcast. I am Candace Lewis, coming to you with just updates on my life. If you're interested, here I am. Sorry for my voice. I've been sick since last week. Boy. And I've just been tired. I've been exhausted. A lot of stuff going on in my life. And I'm just like, why me, Lord? Like all of us. And even though it hurts, sometimes you want to cry. I'm learning, like, you just have to keep pushing forward. Like, right now, I want to cry, but you can't. Because what is crying going to do? You know, it's crazy. So I'm going to just jump right in. This is my setup. I'm in my bedroom in a little corner. Just trying to give you guys some type of background right now. Excuse me for my voice, but y'all, I haven't been working since May. And some people will be like, oh, it's sad. And I think that was me for a while, like, woe is me. But for some reason, I'm starting to realize, like, this is a blessing. I don't have to clock in. I don't have to deal with other people's personalities. And maybe God's given me all this time to build my own business. And I don't know why we're like programmed. Oops, excuse me. I don't know why we're programmed to think otherwise. So like God's not doing something for our greater good. So yeah, I did want to tell you about a company that I was working for, and it was just crazy. I know I'm just jumping right into it, but it's like in order for me to heal from the trauma they gave me, I have to talk about it because it was effing crazy. So I was in Memphis and I was Uber driving and just talking to people, Lyft driving with this hopes of getting an opportunity. So I finally got an opportunity to work for this company, and I'm going to keep like a lot of details out of it because you never want to get sued for things. But I started and I was hopeful. It's like, you know, you get excited. It's a new company. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give myself 3 months to just learn the job. And y'all, I was out there in 3 weeks. So many red flags. So many things that I was just like, how is this company still surviving? How is like the government not up in here shutting this place down? I guess I'll start from when my second week there, the girl that I was sitting next to, one of her children were murdered. It was her fake child, but it was her son's best friend. He was murdered, and he died in her arms. He was like 15 or 16 years old, and she called the owner and was like, "Hey, can I get tomorrow off?" And I saw the text. He texted back and said, hey, sorry to hear that, but when you come in, let's schedule time so we could talk about your future. Basically, getting her ready to get fired. Turned into a big argument, gossiping amongst coworkers. And I'm like, what? This is weird. Toxic number one. This other thing isn't toxic, but it was just gross because their customers are probably not aware, but there was a roach on my desk. I remember calling mom. I was like, there was a roach on my desk. Oh my God. Because I never worked in a place where there was like little pest issues, and then you're serving the public, and then they're putting those things that you're giving them in their homes or their babies' rooms or in their office and causing problems. So anyway, then the owner just had a horrible persona. Like, he thought he could just curse and say what he wants, and everybody was like bowing down to him. And that's when I started to realize, like, he really is insecure because he has to feel power when people worshiping him because he has power over their checks. How sick is that? And if you are a company that owns that type of company where you want your workers to bow down to you, I hope your business fails, because nobody should spend all their time building your company and you treat them like crap. Ugh. And it's just so freeing being able to talk about this right now. Something else that happened was like the cat calling. from the middle there, oops, oh, the cat calling was insane to be in 2023. I'm just like, we're really working here together, and you think it's appropriate to catcall me and call me sweets? Hey, beautiful, I love that smile. What? So I, being strategic and not causing problems, put a picture of me and my boyfriend up on my desk so people walking by would just leave me alone. Okay? And he was huge. So I was like, well, maybe this is, a strategy to keep him away. Then I think this is what I think these are the two things. The next two things irritated me was the person that was supposed to train me had the worst attitude. I mean, I'm leaning on you for help, and you just have this horrible attitude. And I'm like, I know I ain't crazy because I'm being super friendly. And then this is the other thing that happened outside of that person's personalities. Like, on top of, how about they went to lunch, came back smelling like alcohol on their breath? I'm like, what? How is this acceptable? It was crazy. But I think this is where it hit home for me, is when I caught a cold. And I was having a headache, and I was cold, and I just didn't feel good. And I asked the owner, I was like, hey, I gotta go home, because remind you, I drove 1 hour, 60 miles to work, morning and night. And I asked the owner, I was like, hey, I gotta go. I gotta go home. He was immediately irritated, like immediately. And I was thinking, like, who wants someone that's sick to spread their germs to everyone else? Ew. So anyway, the next day, I knew it was a problem. I could feel it. I'm at home trying to get better, like drinking fluids. Like, I'm feeling horrible. Like, you can kind of hear that I'm still not 100%. One of his, like, I call them lap dogs, came up to me. He's like, hey, I heard you ran out of here yesterday. And I'm like, how is me having a cold office gossip? That is so weird. Weird. And I'm telling y'all all this crap that I went through. But that's just 3 weeks of me dealing with it until they said, you know what, it's not a good fit here. And it's not a good fit here because I guess I ruffled feathers, amongst other things. I was messing up things. But you have to understand, if I'm not being trained and it's on the job training, you have to be prepared for things to be messed up. Am I right? If I'm wrong, y'all tell me. So anyway, I just feel for the people that are there. I feel for the people, like, it was like a small little group of Hispanic people, and you could tell, like, they were treated poorly. Like, the person that was their supervisor, it was this black lady, she talked to them so poorly, and they were so sweet. And it's like, this is all they had to survive. And then it's like, the older lady there was like limping into work, okay? And it was like, it's like modern day slavery, but just legalized. And I need somebody, because I can't, to call these companies out. Like, somebody needs to be a whistleblower. Like, there has to be some type of law somewhere with just fair treatment of their employers. Like, I'm sad thinking about this, because these people are stuck, and they don't even know a good company if they just don't know. They don't know what it's like to be treated, like, fairly, and to have a day off and have work-life balance. It hurts. It's so bad that the fact that I'm making a YouTube video on it is insane. But for the moment that I have with those people, my heart goes out to them. Like, they're stuck. And one guy worked that job for 8 hours, like 8 a.m. to 5, right? Don't get to go nowhere for lunch. Nobody's allowed to go anywhere for lunch, by the way. And then gets up and goes to another job. It was like, I only sleep 3 hours. I was crying, because that is not normal. How can someone have that much control over somebody? And they've been doing it for 30-something years, bro. And nobody calls them out. It's like the human element of it. If you wouldn't treat your family members like that, why would you treat somebody else's? I digress. And this is why I have to do jobs where I'm making an impact on someone's life and it's purpose driven. I can't just work for anybody just doing anything and accept any type of treatment. If you respect me, fine. That's all I ask. I remember I was working at a big company. It was Google. And my manager at the time, I got something wrong or I didn't understand anything. I mean, mind you, that was an on-the-job training. Okay, I was a contractor. But you know what he said? He's like, you should know this. This is third grade level stuff. And I was like, excuse me? So I was upset that moment. The next day I had to address it. It was very condescending. And so I think I'm at this point where I have to work for myself because I can't take somebody talking to me crazy. I can't. Because it's just rude. It's disrespectful. And I just wish... I guess it is what it is. It's been going on for years. And that's why we're having more entrepreneurs, more than we've ever seen before. Me being one of them. And I'm realizing I can't work for people who don't respect me. Because people will trample over you to get where they're trying to go. So that's my experience. That, and it's like, you know what, y'all? I haven't been working for like a minute. Like, I've been out here just trying to find money to pay my bills and stuff. But to be subjected to that foolishness, heck no. And I'm grateful for my parents that I can live with them. It sucks that I can't buy everything that I want. But at the same time, I have my peace of mind. Because I'm going through too much in my life. Too much in my life. To have to wake up every morning and give 8 hours of my day to foolishness and disrespect. So my heart goes out to that company I just left, not to the owners and the rude lady. But it goes out, that's my mom. She's not going to stop. But I'm not going to respond right now. But my heart goes out to them. They know who they are. Y'all pray for them because they're all like over 50 and they've been there for years and they don't know any better. And people act like this is where they want to be, but if they had an opportunity to leave, they would. Just remind you, remember I said I took a lunch for an hour? You get in at 8, you leave at 5 or 6, 5 o'clock. Nobody leaves for lunch breaks. So how can you apply for jobs? How can you go on interviews? You have to risk it all, especially if you have a family and bills to pay. That's not fair. I will say that at Google, I did like that they gave you 20% of your time for professional development, doing what you want. And that was amazing because no company should take 100% of your time. Anyway. All right. Thank you all for being here. I'm happy to be back, have people to talk to. I'm very emotional today. So talk to you later. Bye.